you will get very high confidence. You will get Bitcoin 1 million by 2035.
Yeah.
Some chance that you will get Bitcoin 1 million, at least a blip. It'll at least touch it in 5 years. Okay. So we could see it in 5 years, and Tom Lee would agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible. It's not even, it's, I would say almost probable, like a 50% probability, 50-50. We're going to see it in 5 years, but the trend will still, the power law trend only goes up to about 550,000, 600,000 in even in 10 years. It's not, sorry, in 5 years, it's by 2030, it's only 500,000. So if we do get it, it's probably on the high side, kind of the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get it, we'll see it, but it may not be sustainable in 5 years, right?
The message from Fred Krueger is clear. Traditional markets are home to a vast amount of idle wealth. It would be revolutionary if even a small portion of that money moved into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's supply is fixed. Therefore, a small input can trigger a price spike without requiring trillions of dollars. Because of this, Krueger thinks institutional reallocation rather than individual speculation may provide Bitcoin with its next significant boost. If you're intrigued by bold predictions and deep financial insights, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more engaging content. Thank you for your support and enjoy the video.
There is only one Bitcoin, right? And so the thesis on Bitcoin, from my perspective, from an institutional point of view, is you've got $150 trillion of M3 out there, pure money. Okay. That number is growing at 7% a year. That means it's doubling every 10 years. So if you add in the bonds, the bond market, and I used to be a bond arbitrage trader at Salomon Brothers, right? So that market is now $130 trillion. Okay. So you add in a few other things, you get to roughly $300 trillion of paper out there. We're not talking about stocks. We're not talking about real estate where you could denominate it. There's $300 trillion worth of, dollar, euro, yen, and yuan paper, right? Now, $300 trillion, that's going to be $600 trillion in 10 years. It's going to be $1.2 quadrillion in 20 years. And honestly, it's statistic. That's just pure stats. That it's going up. It's never going down. Those are the rates, right? Now, if you have $1 quadrillion coming in of money, and that's really just money. It's not like assets that have to be moved. Those also can be moved. But $1 quadrillion of just pure money, some percentage of that money is going to find its way into Bitcoin. And prior to January 11th, 2024, there really wasn't a great way to invest in Bitcoin, right? First of all, it wasn't really legitimate, and it didn't have regulatory clarity, really, But then you had it's an asset that you can hold. It's not going to get you in trouble. It's not a security. It's not going to be deemed, there's not going to be any legal repercussions. BlackRock's behind it. So now you have a transformation of this kind of anarchist asset, this screw the man asset, to now being an actual institutional asset. Okay, number one. Number two, you have an easy way to hold it and really track the asset. So we're just at the beginning of this journey, but there is literally a sea of money. It is an absolute sea of money that is headed into Bitcoin. And it will head to some extent into other things a little bit. There'll be some carryover, some collateral moves into Ethereum, Solana, whatever. But it's going into Bitcoin. And the reason it's going into Bitcoin has nothing to do with the tech of Bitcoin. It's just Bitcoin is the branded store of value that won't change. It's won the battle.
Yeah.
And, it's sort of like there have been other ketchups that were invented after Heinz ketchup. I'm not aware of any brands of ketchup other than Heinz. That's it. You know what I mean? You don't catch up with the absolute leader once the leader has gone like this, So Bitcoin, we have, somewhere in the next 10 years, I believe we're going to have $1 trillion go into Bitcoin. $1 trillion going into an asset that's $2.5 trillion is going to raise the price of Bitcoin to $1 million a coin. You will get very high confidence you will get Bitcoin 1 million by 2035.
Yeah.
Some chance that you'll get Bitcoin 1 million, at least a blip. It'll at least touch it in 5 years. Okay. So we could see it in 5 years, and Tom Lee would agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible. It's not even, it's, I would say almost probable, like a 50% probability. 50-50, we're going to see it in 5 years. Okay. But the trend will still, the power law trend is only goes up to about 550,000, 600,000 in even in 10 years. It's not, sorry, in 5 years, it's by 2030, it's only 500,000. So if we do get it, it's probably on the high side, kind of the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get it, we'll see it, but it may not be sustainable in 5 years, right? In 10 years, I think I think in 10 years, it'll actually be the floor. $1 million will be the floor in 10 years. And then I think what people say, what after that? And I say, well, it's the first step. After that, we go to 10 million. But the 10 million, the way the power law works, it takes twice as much time. If going up 2x, after the next one, it takes 4x as much time. So it slows down noticeably. So really the great CAGRs, the great returns that we're going to see are in the next decade.
Yeah.
Then it's going to slow down and Bitcoin will be a less grayed out. So
people are investing 5%, 10%, or even 20% of their portfolios in Bitcoin as their confidence in the cryptocurrency grows. However, the supply remains constant at 21 million coins, despite the increasing demand. The price is under a lot of upward pressure because of that limited supply. As you can already see, the number of addresses with at least 1 million sats is rapidly increasing. People are slowly and silently piling up. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable post notifications for future Bitcoin, macroeconomic, and digital asset content before we go any further. Now, let's get into his powerful predictions.
In 10 years, I think I think in 10 years, it'll actually be the floor. $1 million will be the floor in 10 years. And then I think what people say, what after that? And I say, well, it's the first step. After that, we go to 10 million. But the 10 million, the way the power law works, it takes twice as much time. If going up 2x, after the next one, it takes 4x as much time. So it slows down noticeably. So really the great CAGRs, the great returns that we're going to see are in the next decade.
Yeah.
Then it's going to slow down and Bitcoin will be a less grayed out. So right now, I think if you're thinking about investing, I think right now is the time, right? The next 10 years are going to be the golden era of Bitcoin. I think Saylor also kind of came to sort of the same conclusion as saying, and by the way, I've talked to Saylor about the power law, and he was very interested, so he's a genius. He's leveraged it up brilliantly. But I think at the end of the day, all models kind of converge to the power law.
Yeah.
They're all saying the same thing, but the mathematical statement of what it is the power law. That's the statistical, and all of us who follow the power law, we all agree on the numbers, more or less, we all agree on the bands, the probability, all this stuff. I think one of the things that no other cryptocurrency has is this power law. And it really tells you exactly how Bitcoin is evolving over time, both in terms of price, in terms of the address account holding 1,000 sats, 10,000 sats, 1 million sats, 10 million sats, amount of addresses holding a Bitcoin, amount of addresses holding 10 Bitcoin. All these things are power laws. The hash rate of Bitcoin is a power law. And the correlation coefficients that you get on these are so high, Kyle. The power law versus Bitcoin is a 96% correlation coefficient. Now, you can either have a view that I don't believe in statistics, and you can't tell the future. Future could be anything, Fred. Or you say, I do actually believe in math. I believe in statistics. And if I have a 96% correlation of going up, well, I'm gonna ride that trade, right? So to me, this is the clearest trade in all the world right now, right? Yeah. The clearest trade, which is you will probably 10x your money with really high certainty, if you can stomach you can stomach the volatility of Bitcoin, and you can write it up somewhere between 5 and 10 years from now, we're going to hit $1 million. Now, it's not going to go 20x. It's probably not going to. It's almost zero chance of it going 50x. We know kind of we know kind of the number. It's roughly a 10x from here, and it could take 10 years to do. But that's, like, from my perspective, that's an amazing return, right? Like, I don't care about flipping some meme coin and making, tripling my money overnight. I'm not interested in that. Yeah. I'm interested in placing big bets, tens of millions of dollars, right? And having those bets go up 10x, in 10 years. So that's that's my focus. And there are people who get more and more conviction. Like, you start out, you have a little bit of conviction, you buy a little bit of Bitcoin, then you get more conviction. You say, I'm going to double up. I'm going to put 20% of my portfolio into Bitcoin. And that 20% of your portfolio becomes 50% of your portfolio, right? And then you're like, should I sell or not? Now, so the amount of people, the amount of addresses that say have 1 million sats in them is growing like roughly the square of time. You can really high correlation, right? Like, the more and more people are just discovering this thing called Bitcoin and buying some Bitcoin. That's it,
The main takeaway from Fred Krueger's interview is that Bitcoin is an internationally recognized, scarce, mathematically predictable asset that is still in its early stages of acceptance. It is not just another investing fad. He explained the power law, which demonstrates how the price, usage, and network strength of Bitcoin are all increasing in a steady, exponential manner. Put otherwise, this is a consistent, quantifiable process of acceptance and value growth, rather than a haphazard burst of enthusiasm. The main lesson for viewers is that trying to play the market or chase short-term returns isn't the true potential with Bitcoin. It lies in being willing to endure turbulence and comprehending the long-term trend. If data and history are correct, Bitcoin presents one of the most obvious ways to increase wealth over the coming 10 years, not through speculation, but through scarcity and math. Krueger also pointed out a significant change in psychology. Individuals may begin with a small investment, but as their convictions deepen, they expand their reach. Globally, more people are becoming aware of Bitcoin, hoarding it, and refusing to sell. Each new wave of adopters must pay more to purchase from current holders, because to a limited supply, which continuously raises the price. Fred is advising viewers to ignore the clamor, stay away from short-term schemes, and concentrate on the long-term fundamentals when he states that Bitcoin is the clearest trade in the world right now. In an era of currency devaluation and financial instability, Bitcoin represents a unique, mathematically driven opportunity to protect and develop wealth, as the video's outro reaffirms. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications if you thought his viewpoint was helpful so you don't miss any updates. We'd love to know what you think about the future of cryptocurrency markets, so please share your ideas in the comments section. We appreciate your time and hope to see you in the next video.